This week on Tech Tip Tuesday, we're going to go over installing low voltage lighting in your pond and stream. Today we're going to be installing two 1-watt lights, a 6-watt light, and a 1-watt uplight. The things we're going to need to install that will be some aquascape pond foam. We like to use some moss in order to hide a little bit of the lights so you're not really visually seeing them other than the light beam shining out on them. And for the 1-watt lights, we have a stand. And these are the stands for the 1-watt light. In a minute here, when I'm installing them, I'll show you how they go together. We've actually chosen two 1-watt lights to go in the stream. And the reason we chose 1-watt lights is that this is a very small stream. There's no need to make this super bright. You know, if this was a much bigger stream and you were casting that light across a bigger area, you would want a bigger light, like a 3-watt light or maybe even a 6-watt light. So when you install these lights, you're always looking to light up the waterfalls or maybe some key rocks that are really look cool. On this, we're looking to highlight or light up our waterfalls. So how we're doing that, we can do that one of two ways. We could put a 1-watt light uplight underneath the falls and light up just the falls, or you can install a 1-watt spotlight and shine at the falls. So I want to light up this falls here, so I want this light to shine on it, but I don't want it super visible. So the best way to do that is to have it, we'll use this stand I talked about earlier, which is just a nut that screws off the bottom. So this is a little stand that holds the 1-watt light. And how it holds it, there's little slots in the back of the 1-watt light, and there's a slotting in this part of the stand, and it just slides into it, and the wire runs out the back. The reason I'm using a stand is because we don't want this water in the gravel that's going to be in the stream. So you want it up off the bottom of the gravel so it's not buried in the gravel. I'm going to go ahead and place this in place. We're going to put it here behind this rock, and I'm going to run the wires out through an opening in between these two rocks. One of the main things we try to do is to hide, when we're building these ponds, whether it's lighting or anything else, we try to hide our mechanics so nobody sees how it's really built. So we'll tack that wire up underneath so it's not visible. That's lights there. It'll shine on there on the waterfalls. And then we'll take this wire out here, and then we're going to cover this with gravel. And then as we finish mulching or whatever you're going to do around your pond planting, you want to bury this cord in the soil so that's not visible as well. We're going to move on to the next waterfalls, and I'll show you where we're going to set that one and why we set it where we set it. So we're going to do the same type thing with our 1-watt spotlight. We are tucking it behind a rock. We are going to cobble this area out, which means we are going to install cobbles here instead of putting a big rock in. So I've got that set where I'd like it. We're going to come with the cobbles, and we'll hide that wire behind it and come out. Another thing to keep in mind when you're setting these lights is that you always want to think about where your seating area is or where you're going to see these lights the most. When you do that, you never want to have this light shining in the face of somebody. If your seating area, say, was going to be to the right here, I would never want to take this light and shine it across this so it's in your eyes when you're sitting there. So you're always looking to have it so it's not shining in somebody's face. If this was a seating area and this was shining in somebody's face, I would choose a 1-watt uplight to light this up straight up rather than shining at it. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is show you how we hide these lights so they're not visible when you're walking by them. You can hide them with rocks if you can get it jammed in there in place, but sometimes when water's moving, the rocks move. So we like to foam them right in place so they don't move. So this is aquascape pond foam I'm using. And we're just going to go ahead and just put this around it. And this foam is actually a sealant that we use to divert water when we're building waterfalls, but it will also hold this 1-watt light in place once this foam dries, and the running water will not move it. Plus this moss is pretty cool to look at rather than that pond foam. And the reason we're using this moss is to hide that pond foam. When it's first sprayed out, it's very shiny. This kind of camouflages it so you don't see it, and this moss is much better to look at than that pond foam. So we're now in the pond, and on this waterfalls here, we're looking to light this up with an uplight. So we're going to use a 1-watt uplight. We want it to shine up on the face of this rock, or this falls. So we're going to put it at the base. We're going to move this rock aside to hide the wire. Alright, so in an area like this, there's going to be a lot of water that's actually coming off of the top of this rock, because that's the end of our waterfalls. A lot of times these uplights, because water is dropping on them, they like to move. So the best way to install these is to actually get them as far back in cupped as you can, so when the water comes off, it's not hitting it. But if you were to place it out here, you've got to get some rocks around it or something that's going to hold it in place. That foam will hold it, but that will move if it gets a lot of water pressure on it. This waterfalls, we're running about 4,000 gallons per hour through. It shouldn't move it that much. But if you're using a bigger pump, like a 9PL, or you're pushing 9,000, or you're on a recreation pond, maybe you're pushing 18,000. You won't be through an area this small, but that's a lot of water, and that'll move that light very easy. So I'm going to tuck this one in. Same process. We want that shining up. Now we'll move on to installing a 6-watt light or a 3-watt light into a pond in a deeper area. Things we're going to need in order to build this housing for the light is 3-inch PVC. It could be flex, it could be rigid, either or, doesn't really make a difference, and 1-inch kink-free pipe. So how we're going to start that out is we're going to cut 5-6 inches of this 3-inch pipe off, and the reason we use 3-inch pipe is these lights fit in there like perfect. So let me go ahead and cut that. Alright, we've got our section of pipe, and now I've got a 3-inch cap. We will stick that cap on there. It does not need to be glued. And then we are going to drill a hole in the back of this. And the reason I'm drilling it in the back is we're coming out right near the edge of the shelf with this. So it's much easier to hide the pipe if I come out the back. If I was to be in a deep area and that kink-free pipe was going to go up, I would drill the side of this. Let me go ahead and drill that. I've got that drilled out, and that 1-inch pipe fits snug in there. So now we've got to feed this wire through this 1-inch pipe, and the easiest way to do that is with an electrical snake. I don't have one handy with me right now, so I'm going to use some 1/4-inch autofill line, and I'll tape this to it, and we'll pull it through. I've got a 1/4-inch autofill line. What I want to do is feed that through, not the end where the light's going to be, but the end where the wire is going to come out. I'm just going to feed that through. If you had an electrical snake, you'd be using, or doing it the same way rather. Now that I have it fed through, I'm going to electrical tape this right to the wire of the light. The two of them are taped together. I'm just going to pull this through. So I've got that wire fished in. Let me just show you how that light fits in there, like nice and perfect. So we picked out our spot for our light. We're going to have it here, and it'll be shining up towards the last waterfall and casting across the pond. So we will set that in place and fish our 1-inch line through this hole in the rock here. The reason we are doing that is so we can hide our line and you don't see any of the mechanics. We got our light installed. It's shining where we want it. Now we want to go ahead and hide this, and I'll show you how we do it. The light is in now. Now, you don't want to see this. We definitely want to camouflage it. We got this white that will stand out on the 3-inch cap. And we want to hide this the best we can. So, just stick a rock here and on the side. Another rock on top. And then, let's seal this light in so it doesn't move. We'll use some of our pond foam and moss to do this. We've got all our lights installed now. Now I want to go ahead and show you how we wire everything in. Today we're going to be using a 150 watt transformer. The reason we're using such a big wattage on a small pond is that when you're building a pond, you never know if you're going to add lights. Maybe you want to add some outdoor lighting or path lights. You can also hook them in. So we like to use the bigger transformer. We are going to use a 5 outlet extension. And it's possible we might need a 25-foot extension cable. Let me go ahead and show you how we wire everything in. All the lights are installed. We're going to go ahead and wire this. I've got my 5 outlet extension, and I'm starting at the farthest light away from where the transformer is going to be. So I'm at the very end of the 5 outlet extension, and this is the 5 outlet extension. It's a female end, and then we got the 2-prong male end. They slide in. We've got a nut that tightens it on there, holds it in, and keeps it waterproof. Here is our 150 watt transformer, just like the lights. It has that quick connect. It is equipped with 3 different lines you can run into it. We only need one for this one. So I've taken off one of the protection nuts that allows no water in there if you're not using it. And they attach the same exact way as the lights do as well. So I've got our power ran over here. We are going to plug it in. And then this is our 150 watt transformer. It has a plastic covering for the dials in there. What we have is a reset for the power. Usually these things are great. You never need to reset that. And then here's our dial. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's an on, there's an off, an auto, a 4-hour, 6-hour, and 8-hour. I'll explain what everything is. On and off is pretty simple. It's on, off. If you want it off, turn it to off. If you want it on, turn it on. There's an auto. An auto is, there's a sensor on this, an eye, that senses when it's dark. So if you leave the dial on auto, as soon as it gets dark, them lights will stay on all night long. If it's on 4 hours, the same thing happens, more or less. It senses it's dark, it turns the lights on, it'll keep them on for 4 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours, depending on what you put that dial on. Generally, we use, at my house, I leave mine on either 4 or 6. Usually I'm not out there 8 hours in the dark. We're going to go ahead and test this, and by testing, we're just going to turn it to on. And let's check out the lights, Kyle, see if they're all working. All our lights are working. Only a couple things left to do. We got to bury them wires. The only other thing you have to do is enjoy your pond at night. I hope we helped everybody out with this lighting video. If you guys have any questions about it, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. We'll get back to you on it. If this is the type of thing you like, go ahead, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, ding ding for notifications.